All right, guys, we're here for the NYRR 5th Avenue Mile Periscope chat. Thanks for watching and tuning in. We're joined by 4 awesome athletes here today. We have former champions Matt Centrowitz and Bernard Lagat, 2 of America's top milers, as well as Queen of the Road Mile, Rae Kampf, and also Alysia Montano, who's won, I can't even count how many U.S. championships she's won at the event. But thanks, guys, for joining us, and make sure you guys submit your questions in the questions box, and the athletes will answer them for you.
So to kick things off, what's your number one? How about each of you give your number one tip for runners tomorrow?
I think. Okay, sorry. Let me jump in because I'm the senior one, right?
Yeah.
So I think the tip for tomorrow is, basically run your race. You don't have to run another person's race. Just go out there and have some fun. And one thing with the 5th Avenue Mile is don't get too excited after halfway, because you are going to see it's a straightaway. So you're going to see the line closer to you, but it's about 800 meters long. So guess what? You have to wait, but pace yourself and go all out when it gets closer. So and have fun.
I was going to say the same thing, like Bernard said, where use the quarter-mile marker as an indication of like where you are on the course, because you can easily get caught up with thinking you are closer to the finish line than you really are. So be patient out there and use the quarter-mile markers as a good guide.
To go on the opposite end of things, I do agree with that, and that's the number one tip that I think everyone needs to know about this course. But also trust yourself. The thing that I have found that has given me the name of Queen of the Road Mile is I usually go a little earlier than I think I can. So the first time that I get that feeling that I can run from here to the finish line as fast as I can, I go for it. And I trust that, and I just follow my instincts. So I think that you need to be able to put yourself in a position that you've never been in before to find out what your best is. So give yourself a chance.
And for me, I'm going to go nutritionally. I think everybody should hydrate, make sure to eat appropriately, and give yourself enough time so that it's not sitting in your stomach when you're running and you get out on the road. So that's going to come from me. And then I'm actually following these guys' advice. These guys are milers. I'm coming from the 800, and I think that you guys have a really good example of what to look for on the course tomorrow.
Okay, someone asked, how does this differ from a track?
Well, for the track, you run hard, turn left, like many times for 4 laps. And the mile, this road mile, it's actually kind of a straight shot, but just with a little bit of rolling hill. So I mean, that's just the most obvious difference.
Sometimes I joke that I'm a dumb runner. Like, I really like road miles because you don't have to really have a strategy until just about the end. You can go as wide as you want to, and you're still running the tangents, which is awesome. So I always think it's just important to stay in contact, which is a lot easier to do when you're not running.
Someone else asked, when do you go all out?
I go all out when they show me the last quarter, because that is when people actually starting to go. And that last quarter, when they show you that last quarter, you know that you've got to go. Because if you leave it for too long, then by the time you start chasing, let's say it's only 200 meters to go, that's a little too late. So, but if you give yourself a chance, like Eva was saying, give yourself a chance, I would like to give myself a chance by actually going at a quarter. And even though I'm saying it, I tried a few years ago, and this guy came and just passed me, because I think maybe I talked to him a little early. Yeah, I want to get too early. Yeah, so, but I think that is my strategy, if I want to give myself a chance.
I usually wait till like 200 to go. Like Bernard said, a lot of guys, they see that quarter-mile mark and everyone just kind of hits it. And so I like to, it's kind of a chess game. You want to be the last one to move, and so I like to wait a little bit.
May I interject? Something tells me that these two are playing mind games right now with each other. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know. This guy's saying 400 mark, this guy's saying 200 mark. I have a feeling tomorrow
They're both going at
they're just going to be looking at each other like this, like, oh, he's
None of us can go.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So you guys
To run your best mile, though, I think 400 to go is a pretty fair place to start. Yes. It's enough that you won't tank in 400 meters, as long as you went out reasonably.
But if you say you're going to wait till 200 meters, then he's going to think you're waiting till 200 meters, but he will have gone at 400 meters.
At least 3.
Just watch.
So now
Right.
shifting to a topic everyone loves, food. What's the last thing you eat before the race and when?
Well, on race day for me, I like to keep it simple. If it's an earlier race, I usually stick to something like eggs and toast. It's like a hard protein that's going to stay in your, hopefully inside of my body rather than on the outside, and it digests really easily. So.
In New York, I like to take advantage of their bagels since it's the best bagel in the country. So a bagel in the morning with butter, keep it light instead of cream cheese. It's usually a good go-to.
Yep, I go for bagel, a little bit of jam in it.
Oh.
And it's something sweet. Awesome.
Someone asked favorite kind of bagel.
Poppy seed.
All grain.
I don't like bagels. I like toast.
You're going to shun you tomorrow.
I love bagels, please cheer for me.
Don't forget coffee though. I think coffee wakes you up a little bit. As long as
Oh, yeah.
you don't drink too much, I know it doesn't.
No,
I'm
I'm
hot
not that
chocolate.
coffee.
Yeah,
Like,
just like you get a little bit of that. Yes, I'm awake now and I'm ready to go.
other than that, you don't know you're awake.
You're not awake without coffee.
I'm awake without coffee.
Okay, whatever.
Another question that was asked is, what are your goals for tomorrow?
My goal is not to lose to Matt.
Woo! I told you there's something
It's a big
happening.
goal.
Yeah,
You're inspired.
but seriously, just give my best and try to beat Matt.
Yeah.
But seriously, not lose to that.
No one else in the race for you.
My goal for tomorrow is to have fun. Again, I'm coming up to the mile, and this is just an amazing event to be at. And I get to witness amazing people all around me, and it's just electric. And I just hope to be close enough to feel like I ran my best. And I know your best isn't off of everybody else, but it is kind of interesting if you feel like you did your best and everyone's like a million miles ahead of you. So I just want to be able to be close enough that I can say that I actually ran with the best.
I was fourth last year, so the podium is definitely my target this year. I want to be in that top 3 and get a flag and run around, and it's going to be exciting on the streets of New York. So yeah, I mean, you guys always have to have your kind of base goal, mid-level goal, and stretch goal, and I think whenever you enter into a race, you have to think maybe you can win it. So we'll see.
What about yours?
Mine's probably to win. Last year I finished, I think, 4th and 5th, so I can do more in the mix of things this year. So.
Some people are asking about calories, how many calories you eat before a race.
I don't count.
I don't count calories either.
No.
I think quality is bigger than anything else. So I don't think really calories is anything to worry
If you got
about.
a guess though, how much you think? 3,000?
I don't think we know.
Before race.
Yeah, about 3,000.
300?
Yeah. I think counting calories can get pretty dangerous. So I think it's best to just stay away from that and think about balanced meal rather than the number of calories you're taking in.
Yeah, obviously you want to consume enough that it'll get you through your warm-up, your race, and your cool-down ideally without feeling like you're bonking, so that's important. But I don't count it either. I didn't answer that question. I have a bar, like a meal bar that I like to eat 3 hours before the race that I think is like between 300 and 400. Then I might throw a banana in there an hour before the race too if I feel like I might be hungry. So that's like 500 calories. So it's not a ton, but that's 3 hours before. And depending on the time of the race, you're obviously eating all day before if it's a later race and stuff. So consume like you would on any other day if you are a healthy eater, and then just make sure you have something to get you through all that.
Without counting calories, just consume a banana, a
Coffee.
bar.
Yeah, something that'll
Yeah.
just stay in your belly and not make you feel hungry as you're running. Even though that happens to me anyways, but.
What are you looking forward to doing after the race in New York City?
I got a Mets game lined up the day after, even though I'm a Yankees fan, but kind of just hang out in the city with some family and friends and enjoy some New York sights.
For me, I'm looking forward to, just basically thinking that I don't have to wear these running shoes for the next 6 weeks or something like that. So I'm just going to relax, have good time at the Cougans and
Karaoke.
karaoke, but I don't sing. So I'll be listening to Matt and maybe Alysia
I'm
singing.
definitely getting on the mic.
I know, you know.
No scrubs, TLC.
All day.
So that's what I want to do. And and then of course seeing my family and getting on to preparing for vacation.
Exactly what you said, like literally.
I'm pretty lame. I actually booked my flight home after the race tomorrow because I'm very excited to just get home and see my family. So sorry I won't be there to sing with you, but I was here all week to run another race in New York, and at this point in my season there's nothing better than getting home, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to wake up in my own bed on Monday morning? So that was the goal, and that's where I'm going to be.
Okay, Sam, can you make sure that you check into like changing that flight?
For those that do karaoke, what's your favorite karaoke song?
So many.
Yeah, that's difficult. See, because we do karaoke, so
Yeah.
you have to have. Sometimes the list isn't the same at places. You're like,
No.
maybe you don't have that song.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know?
Don't Stop Believing is a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like Too Close next.
Yeah, that's
a good
ooh.
one. I know.
I can see Matt performing that one.
Or you will be seeing that if you can.
Google Too Close and then find the artist next, and then you'll get an idea of what we're gonna see.
Hello Black. Yeah. Hello Black. I need $1.
What?
What is this song?
Hello
You need
Black.
$1?
Hello Black. I need $1.
Oh yes,
That's what I need.
clearly.
Yeah.
I didn't know
You-
you know when you should
Hello
know
Black.
sing.
Yeah.
I do need $1, so I think I'll sing that song and put a little hat up.
We need $1.
10 of those.
People are asking about running shoes and if they make a difference and which ones are good for your knees.
Running shoes definitely make a difference.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, you can probably find your local running store that can help you get fitted in your best shoe for you, but I really like Asics shoes. I mean, and it sounds totally like just because I'm sponsored by them, but honestly I went and chose to look to be sponsored by Asics because I could get their shoes for free. And I honestly think they're the best shoes, but I do think you find a shoe that works best for you, and depending on what you're doing, like if it's a road mile, you wear a lighter shoe. If you're doing a trail run, you probably wear a shoe that has a little bit more cushion and a little bit more support in it, traction. And obviously, if you're racing the track, we have shoes that have the spikes in them, and if you're doing 800, it's a lighter weight shoe. And
Yeah, no, running shoes definitely help. I think
yeah.
back when we were, or at least when I was in like middle school, high school, you see like kids wearing like the Nike Shocks, and you'd be like, that's not a good running shoe. Or like even like the Air Maxes that are Bernard's wearing, like I would probably suggest wearing something more like designed strictly for running, like like the Pegasus or Structure if you're going the Nike route.
Or possibly like the Cumulus or the Chaotic.
Especially like if you, for example, like you're right, because I would say, for example, if you want to get a shoe that is really good, is that I would say really Formeros is really good. You can just
Which
go
is
there.
equivalent to the Nimbus.
So the Formero, Zoom Formero is the best. It's balanced, it fits you perfect, and you can never even get blisters or anything. So give it a try. Pegasus, not bad.
Or basketball shoe, KDs.
No, that's not.
Okay.
My other job besides running is I actually work at a run specialty store, so I fit people all day. So as much as we kind of joke about every brand being awesome, and I do agree, I've been running in Asics in high school essentially, and I was really happy to get picked up by them right away after college. But I think that there's really no right shoe for one person. If somebody's specifically talking about knee issues, I would look into seeing whether or not you pronate, which is where your ankle kind of tips inwards. I do that pretty bad, so I have to wear something in the stability line from Asics, like the 2000, the Keanu, even the DS trainers has some posting. But if you're dipping inwards, you're putting a lot more shock on the inside of your leg, you're shaving your knees, stuff like that. If you're way on the outside of your foot, you might be getting some outside knee pain. So depending on where it's coming from, that's what your local shoe shop, like Mill City Running, where I work, is great. We're just going to put as many plugs in here as we can.
Also, caught my mixtape.
Drop this album. Go to www.
How will you warm up tomorrow?
What?
How will you warm up tomorrow?
The warm-up, we normally incorporate that warm-up from the hotel. It's so close. We don't have to be walked over there. So normally I can jog, carry my running flats, my waist flats, and basically run to the line, all the way to the start, and then maybe do a little bit of strikes there. That's really all I can do. Because you can go from the hotel and back to the finish line.
I usually do like 2.5 miles of jogging that will definitely get you from the start or the finish back to the start. And then I like to do some dynamic stretching, some drills, and then strides. It takes me a while to get moving, so that just kind of helps me progress my warm up appropriately and get your breathing going. But
People are asking about the difference in time versus running on a track versus running on a road.
What do you say?
Do you want to take this one?
The lights kind of threw me off.
I think you're talking about the difference, like how fast people run a track mile versus a road mile.
I think road miles sometimes tend to be faster than track miles because with the road mile there's really no one's really care about pacing and this and that. You have people that come from 5K maybe and they just want to push it and make it like a nice long hard effort. Also, I think the road tends to be pretty fast.
Yes.
Sometimes people underestimate that as well. You can have a downhill segment that really helps speed it up. So I think the tracks sometimes can be a little bit slower because they turn tactical, whereas road miles tend to be more of like pretty honest all the way throughout. Whether it be in this race, you get a little extra bonus if you're leading at the halfway, kind of picks it up, which makes it fun.
That's good.
Yeah, killed that answer. No one's even saying that.
How about breathing? How do you breathe when you run? Do you breathe mouth breathing or nose breathing?
No, I do
Mouth.
And actually, I try to bring my dad all the way up. And
You do?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because otherwise, you might get stitched. I used to do that, and that is what actually my coach told me when I used to run cross country. I used to get those side cramps and side stitches or whatever they call it. And actually, when I breathe deeper, it's good. But then sometimes in a mile, though, you don't. Sometimes you forget. But then at some point, once in a while, you just get deep breathing in there. You need to get a lot of oxygen to your muscles as you run, and then keep going.
I think keeping a nice rhythm with your breathing is, it's hard to say, with your nose or with your mouth. You essentially probably do both, but obviously your airway is bigger through your mouth. If you recognize that you're starting to breathe super heavy, you might want to take a second to take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth, and then just kind of recharge and then remember your rhythmic breathing.
If you kind of follow your footsteps too, you can make a rhythm out of it, like, okay, every 2-3 steps, I'm making sure that I'm getting a full breathing cycle in. That can help as well. But honestly, I think the less you think about it, the better. People always say if they have like an asthma issue or something that's really related to breathing, that the more you think about it, the more you start to panic. So as much as you can just naturally breathe and focus on the race, the better.
So what will you all be eating tonight for dinner?
Oh, I'm going to eat pasta, with a little bit of chicken in there. Man, I can't wait for it.
Is it dinner time yet?
I'm even thinking about it now. It's actually 2:30. But yes, it's pasta for me tonight.
The mile is so short that I don't feel like it's as important to, like carb load or do anything very specific. So I don't have plans. I guess I'll just see where my friends want to go eat. But yeah, I think as long as you're eating a meal that has a good balance of carbohydrate, protein, and stuff like that, then you're probably going to be all set. You can eat just about anything before a race, it'll be fine.
It'll be hard to stay away from a New York slice, but I'll probably end up getting bowl pasta, chicken Alfredo. Those are good go-to.
Yeah. I am again looking to, like Heather, I'm looking to just eat something good, a balanced meal, and Yelp is going to be awesome, I think, for me tonight. But if you guys have any
Are you guys doing dessert?
I don't.
Nah, I'll probably do some dessert tomorrow. I like dessert. I like ice cream.
I like ice cream
I need to go to like an ice cream. I don't want to just get it at the.
You gotta go to dessert place.
Yeah, an ice cream place.
No froyo though, just
Yeah.
dessert.
No, for
Like
real,
ice cream.
for real ice cream.
I brought dessert for after the race tomorrow.
No.
Keep it around.
Oh, because you're on the way to the airport.
Because I'll be on the way to the airport, but I ate it all before my first race. To be perfectly honest, I ate lots of hot tamales.
That's what we're doing.
Does anyone in the room have questions to wrap things up?
Matthew, you mentioned the halfway cream tomorrow. Who's the most likely candidate to get that?
Bernard Lagat said.
I don't like it.
I don't know.
In the absence of Heron,
It's going to be Kennedy for me, I think.
Gary, that's a good pick. I got to check out the field. I don't really know. It tends to be the guy that's really not in great shape. They know that they're not going to win, and they just want to pick up that extra K, and they can just kind of coast in that last halfway to get the sub 4. So I'm gonna have to see, you know, when we all meet as athletes, who's looking a little out of shape, and you can tell he just wants that 1K bonus. But Garrett is in shape, so that's why I'm thinking maybe it might not be him because he knows he's got a good shot at the
I don't know that. I think he's brave, and he's not going to be afraid to go. Because he knows also that, you know, what he is going to wait until, like, he can get these guys who can run 140.
But if you get a guy like Will Lear in there, and you know, Garrett Heath is brave, and Will Lear is going to sprint dead out to the half mile, you know, and just kind of...
That's true.
Can I just say, last time I ran this race, I totally was like, oh, I'm going for the premium. These girls are amazing.
Because no one can run a half faster than you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What happened? Tell us what happened.
Oh, what had happened was, everybody one steps. Like, they literally were one stepping, and I was like up with everybody, and it's just like one step. I'm like, oh, like how many
Come on!
Yeah.
And they started early too, around 600.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like,
They started
yeah,
200
and you
out.
have to run 4:32 or faster.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh crud. So yeah, it was actually a little bit more of.
Did you end up getting it?
No, I didn't. I think Portuguese sneak on it. I may have been like the third person back.
You weren't even close.
Well, like close enough where I literally think I made it, being like something where we were like, oh, let's like go a little faster. Oh, Alysia, here she comes, like psych. Like literally, it felt like they were like, silly girl. And then I ended up running 4:34 too, so I was like 2 seconds off of that. If I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. You either go for it or you
Maybe
don't.
yeah, but I feel
Commit or don't.
We'll think about it next time.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Either hit it or you don't.
Now I'm visualizing this tomorrow. We got it. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
to,
what you said.
to wrap things up, why don't you share how people can follow you on social media?
You can follow me at Alysia Montano, my name, Alysia Montano, on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same. And my website is also www.myname.com. Made it pretty simple.
Yeah. I'm at Heather Rae Kampf, R-A-E for the middle name. That's my Instagram and Twitter. I have Facebook. Website is goheatherkampf.com.
Mine is simple, like a 1500 for Twitter, and also same for Instagram. And I don't have any Facebook, but I have the fan page, which sometimes doesn't post good things. So I don't know about that. I don't
Oh, you on
know.
that
Yeah.
Like karaoke
But it-
videos.
Yeah. And so that's all for me. Simple.
I'm MG Central on Instagram. That's probably the best one out of all the outlets I use. And then Twitter is at Centrowitz. And then Facebook is Centrowitz.
All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap.
That